Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our YouTube channel. This is Seewing Yi, and my special guest is Mr. Justin Zawatney from Southwest Florida. How are you, Justin?
Doing great. Thanks for having me back again, Mr. G.
My pleasure, as always. And Justin has been working with our network. He has assisted a number of our investors, mainly from California, from our network, to buy great cash flow properties, turnkey, brand new construction for the last few years. And our investors have experienced amazing service and results from the purchases. It's a buy and hold, long-term buy and hold, turnkey, new construction, cash flow in the best neighborhood in Southwest Florida. And anyway, today we can talk about Southwest Florida, right? What's going on? We're gonna demystify myth versus fiction, okay? The reality versus perception. And before going further, here's my takeaway first. Here's my high-level takeaway. Florida, I believe, is still, for the past few years, even before the pandemic, has been the fastest growing state in the country. In fact, it has exceeded the state of New York in the population, total population. I believe Florida is really not that big, and this lot of the land is not even buildable. And yet, don't quote me, but I believe the population of Florida is around 30, I'm not sure, 20 something million people, maybe 30 million. Don't quote me. See, it's a lot of people, okay? Migration, pre-pandemic and post, I know migration has slowed down just a bit lately, this past couple of years, but here's the bottom line. Look, personally, I have purchased rental properties in Florida more than 20 years ago. I have purchased property in Jacksonville, Florida, Cape Coral, Central Florida, in Poinciana, anywhere else. And I still have rental properties in Central Florida as of today. And I know the media and the YouTube crash bros and doomers, they always talk negatively about Florida for clickbaiting views and doom and gloom, all this. But hey, Justin, you've been on the ground, you're a property manager, so you see what's going on. You have boots on the ground, you have investors that have purchased properties, and hurricane and the weather conditions. Look, I experienced in my 15 years of investing, more than that, in Florida, virtually all of my properties, I have experienced almost no damage, maybe a little bit cosmetic damage. That's it. And all these years, if people still moving to Florida, because look, hurricane and weather conditions is the norm in Florida, and yet people continue to come here for decades. We talk about generations. So people understand, Floridians, for the most part, understand the weather conditions, but they still flock to Florida for obvious reasons. Sunbelt state, no state income tax, low affordability, not that low anymore, affordability and quality of life, the whole 9 yards. People want to escape the cold, the freezing weather from other part of the country. So Justin, gonna dispel any kind of myth. I know I've been talking too much. To share with you what's going on with the hurricane, what sector is impacting people. I know, look, it's very sad. Our hearts go out to other people that some people lost their lives, some people got displaced. And so it's really great for those people. It's just such a devastating situation for not only people in Florida, but other states as well, as because of the hurricane. Without further ado, Justin, go ahead. Share with the audience what's your narrative, what's your perspective, and go from there.
Yeah. Like you said, Florida, every area of our country, there is some kind of natural disaster that can occur for that area. For Florida, it is hurricanes, right? We are at a very large risk of hurricanes compared to anywhere else in the US. But it's okay. Our homes are built in a way to withstand them. We'll get into that a little more. But even with that risk, like you said, Florida's population has been on a steady increase every single year since 2010. It's gained population. The last time we had a decrease was 2009, and it was only by 58,000 people, which is a blip on the graph. That's hardly anything, which is great to see that constant migration of people to the state means there's a housing shortage, means that drives prices up, increases demand, and builders cannot keep up with supply. That is a fact. It's been that way since before COVID, and COVID only made that situation even more amplified. But now getting into the hurricane, the natural disasters, into why we are prepared for these. The first thing is a lot of the video that you see when an out of area investor sees the video after a hurricane and homes are destroyed, a huge chunk of that is coming from the beaches, right? So in our local area, we have a handful of barrier islands, Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, Captiva, North Captiva, and it goes up towards the Port Charlotte area. Those are very low-lying islands right on the beach. They receive a lot of damage. However, those are never homes that we would recommend to an investor. They're multi-million-dollar homes. They are not. It's just not what we're doing, right? So while it's not good, it's okay for what we're doing. Now, the areas that we look at are outside of flood zones. So again, you see a lot of videos of that coastal flooding, water coming up into homes. Those are low-lying homes close to the coastal waters, area that we're not looking for investors. And investor says, I want to buy in Florida. We're crossing those areas off before we even get started because it isn't a great fit. Besides, a lot of those homes, again, around coastal water, it's going to be very expensive. Even in Cape Coral, those homes are over $1 million oftentimes. Not the type of home we're looking for. Another thing to look at as you're watching that video, what is the age of the home that was damaged? Was it something that was newly built, or was it something built maybe in like the 70s? Florida had a major overhaul of our building code after Hurricane Andrew in 1992. Completely changed the way a home is built in the state of Florida. If you look at those newer construction homes, they're not immune to damage. They can absolutely be damaged, but it's a far smaller chance of severe damage where the home is just completely blown over or washed away. You don't see it nearly as often as those homes that were built in the 60s and 70s and have just been there unchanged ever since. Getting into that code, some of the things that have been done to help minimize that risk, everything is basically tied to the foundation, right? When they put the trusses on, they're tied in to rebar in the concrete block wall. It goes all the way down into the foundation to hold it all together. Every home that is being built is either being built with impact resistant windows or hurricane shutters to make sure the home stays intact. Once you have a hole in the house, whether it's a broken window or an open door or something like that, it increases the amount of stress on that roof by over 30%. And that's when you see those classic videos where all of a sudden the whole roof just peels off a house. That's not because of the wind blowing this way. It's because of the wind blowing into the house that takes it off. So by getting those shutters on the home, it protects the roof and the windows tremendously. That's part of our process when a storm is coming. I know some of the investors, they probably get sick of seeing these emails because it just means something else to track. However, as soon as a storm is on the radar as a possibility for our area, we send out an update email to all of our investors who have homes that we manage for, saying, hey, here's what's out there. Here's the maps. Here's what our local meteorologists are predicting. Let's keep an eye on it. And as the storm gets closer, and we start, they have the cone. They call it the cone of probability, where the eye of the storm could pass. If one of our homes is inside of that cone, we'll say, hey, look, it's 5 days away. We're in that cone. It's time to start thinking about putting up the shutters, especially if it's something that's going to progress into being a hurricane or a major hurricane. So all of our investors, they're getting daily or multiple times a day emails updating them on the progress of the storm and how it's developing and where it's going. For the last storm, it got to the point where, hey, it's 4 days away. It's going to come close. We need to get the shutters up. All they have to do is say, yes, put them up. Approved. We have a partner company who goes out. They say, all the tenant needs to do is open the garage for us. Take the shutters out. They put the shutters up onto the house. We go around myself to ensure all of our properties have the shutters up. Everything is pulled aside the day before the storm. Let the storm pass, and then the company goes back and they take it down. All for a very low cost. You're not going to find this pricing anywhere else. There are companies that charge quadruple to get shutters up and down. But yeah, because of the partnership we have with them, the fact they do it every time, we get great pricing on it for our investors. And then finally, after the storm, once the home's been protected, the storm has passed, we're going out, making sure that shutters are taken down and stored properly. We're getting update pictures of the entire exterior of the home for the investor to see, just keeping them in the loop. The amount of communication through these is tremendous. And it keeps their investment, their asset as protected as it possibly can be. And through the last storm, incredibly minimal damage. It really, for the most part, it was only landscaping damage, which there's really nothing you can do about. The trees might get blown over and we replace them, but the actual homes did incredibly well throughout the entire time of the storm.
Yeah, that's very reassuring, Justin. I concur. And you and your team have been doing a great job to be so proactive and transparent. My investors, they keep coming back to tell me, oh, Justin was a property manager. He's managing our property really well in good times and bad times. And yeah, those properties that our investors have purchased over the years with you will stand the test of time. So long term, you guys are doing well. I have full confidence in you, Justin. Yeah. So what else you need?
I think that's the biggest thing is targeting homes in areas where we feel it's going to mitigate the risk as much as possible. Not being in a flood zone, potentially looking at LaBelle, which is further towards the center of the state, further from those strong winds most of the time. Making sure it's new construction. We very rarely, if ever, are buying anything built before 2019. Those are keys. And then the final thing is that communication, having that process to protect it. Could we save some money and just say, oh, yeah, if the tenant thinks they need it, they'll put them up and we'll just wait and see what happens? Sure. But I think that's a horrible, mismanaged process for one of your largest assets. We're talking about homes that are now worth $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and the duplex is even more than that. We're not just going to hope for the best. We're going to be as proactive as possible. We're going to make sure that we're overseeing everything is being done by our vendors, increasing our likelihood of getting through those little damage as possible.
Yeah, Justin, maybe two more category of conversation you and I need to talk about. I don't know if you have 20 more minutes or whatever. So Justin, my next question to you is, look, it's very hard for anybody to fight against the social media for the longest time, especially the crash bros out there and the doomers out there that continue to talk trash about Florida, about the house market is doom and people max exodus and leaving Florida and the whole state of Florida is going to go under the ocean, whatever. These doom and gloom videos, they get a lot of clicks, a lot of views, a lot of subscribers because these YouTube crash bros, they prey on people's fears. It's very hard to overcome them because for the reasons why. So how do you overcome this constant negativity, this doom porn video? I call them doom porn, realistic pornography videos that prey on people's fears. How do you overcome that?
I think that the key is not just listening and hearing the message the person making the video is giving you, but really watching it and thinking it through, right? Because let's face it, a lot of these doom and gloom videos, they're not recommending where to invest or that you should invest. They're just trying to make sure that they get clicks and views, that they can get paid by the YouTube algorithm, and that's it. They just need clicks and they need views. That's all. They're not really trying to spread any level of information or any guidance on what someone should do. They're just trying to make sure people watch. So that's the first. Secondly, watch these videos and then really take in what you're seeing, right? Let's think about some of the biggest videos that I've seen personally after this storm. The first one, everyone saw the pictures of Tropicana Field, the baseball stadium in St. Pete that got destroyed. That stadium, if you look at the map, is incredibly close to Tampa Bay. It was right in the heaviest winds through that entire storm. But look at that roof. I don't know about you, but it looked like a giant tarp to me. It was built in 1990. What are the chances that was up to the most up-to-date, perfect code with the strongest materials we had available? Probably not very high. I saw a video also somewhere in the Tampa or Siesta Key region. It was of a restaurant. And it had a boardwalk going out to the restaurant, and the boardwalk and the restaurant were gone. Well, yes, that's a restaurant that is actually built on pylons over the water, right? That's not an investment property. That's not a residential property. That's a commercial property owned by a large business, most likely, who's just taking a risk, right? Lots of big resorts on the water, flooding. Yes, those are big resorts owned by multi-billion-dollar companies who can take the risk of putting something right on the beach. There's not, look through the videos and see how many new construction homes built to the level of the type of investment property we'd recommend are being completely flooded. You're not going to find many. They're either going to be very old, they're going to be large mansions owned by multi-millionaires who can take the risk of putting a home on the beach. You're not going to see a lot of those everyday 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 1,500 to 2,000 square foot new construction homes completely flooded. In fact, out of all the videos I saw, the only one I can think of off the top of my head that really came close to fitting what we would look for was a neighborhood. It was over on the east coast of Florida, where a tornado went through it during the storm and it damaged it severely. But that's not really a fair assessment either. A tornado during a hurricane is a very small pinpoint of damage that will be severe, but it's completely unpredictable. But overall, when you look at that just general flooding, hurricane, wind damaged homes, you're not going to find a lot that look like a residential investment property. You're just not going to find it.
Yeah, all the videos we see on the YouTube channel, even the mainstream videos, the CNBC or CBS or whatever, they similarly, they report the video is shown that the houses got torn down and everything else. But in the coastal areas, those houses are either they are mobile homes, they are trailer parks, and they are homes built 40, 50 years ago, poorly constructed. Yeah, I mean, you see a graphics, all those videos showing total devastation in a coastal area. So the social media and YouTube videos, they want to show as much graphic information as possible to distort the reality. So yeah, it is what it is.
And I think that's the key, right? Because was there, even locally here in Southwest Florida, which we did not get the worst part of this storm. The worst part of the storm was absolutely about an hour and a half north of us in the Siesta Key to Sarasota area. There damage. Yes. End of discussion. Yes. There are restaurants on the beaches and resorts and roads that were damaged. Absolutely. However, anyone who's watched any of our past modules or videos, have we ever once recommended, hey, let's go buy an investment property on Fort Myers Beach? No, that's a vacation area. It's a resort area. It does not fit what we're recommending for the long-term residential investment property to build well. It doesn't, right? Same thing for Sanibel, Captiva. These are areas that we have never once ever recommended a home in. But when you look at the areas where we do say, hey, this could be a great opportunity, there might have been some small damage. Maybe someone lost a couple shingles off of a roof, but you did not see that widespread devastation. And that's not to say that it's not possible. It's just less likely. The coastal flooding is not common in these areas. And that's what you see the worst video of someone wading through the knee-deep water. And it's very sad. It just doesn't fit what we're looking for. So to see one video of devastating loss and say, that's it, we can't invest in the entire state of Florida, I think it's a very closed-minded view of a really sad clip. I think that if you look at it, take it in, process it, and think about what we could still do, I think there's still a lot of great opportunity there. As sad as it is, if anything, I don't know, maybe it even increases the value of these homes that are a little further away from the coast. It's hard to say what'll exactly happen as people rebuild, but it is safe to say these large flooding events on the coast are becoming more common.
Justin, we will talk about it in the future videos. In upcoming videos, Justin and myself going to continue to give you a hopefully weekly update presentation like we're doing right now. And in a future update, we can talk about future recovery of Florida. We can talk about insurance situation. Very, very important topics, right? Urgent topics. We can talk about the rental market. In fact, the rental market it's going to be even stronger than it is right now. It's right now is pretty strong already.
Mhm.
For investors, when you assess or what to buy in Florida, or real estate or not, as a rental property, the rental market is going to get stronger. Those people being displaced from their homes with the recent hurricane, they have to live somewhere. They have to rent somewhere. And the insurance company that are paying the insurance claims, they are putting these people into a rental homes with a higher rental rates. So we can talk about that down the road on our future videos. So any final takeaway, any important topics you will need to discuss for the remaining few minutes we have, Justin?
Yeah, like I said, as always, the real key is get in touch with us. You ever have questions, concerns, interests, you name it. Make the call to Mr. E, right? Even if it's something, I guess maybe we really shouldn't invest in Florida. If that's how you're thinking and you have ideas about, why wouldn't you want to confirm that? Talk to someone that's here local to see if that really is the case. And I'll tell you, if that is the case, if you said, hey, I was really thinking about buying a Fort Myers Beach and putting in a small little investment property out there, you're right. I'd probably say, I don't know if I would do that right now. I just don't, if that's a good idea. But if you're thinking, oh, I saw that video from St. Pete Beach and I guess LaBelle just shouldn't be an option anymore, let's talk. And I'm not here to change your mind, but let's talk and see the difference between what you're seeing on TV and where we're recommending. Let's think about why it's still a great option. And let's have those conversations. It's what we're here for. Even if it's something you're not looking to do for another year, let's have those talks so you're comfortable with it. So when it's time, you understand what you're doing. I'm not here just to sell and say, this is what you should do it now. This is it. That's not our method. I want you to truthfully learn, understand what you're buying, why we feel it's best, and how it's going to affect your investment strategy long term. I'd much rather someone fully understand it than just do it because we said we think it's a good idea. That's the key to it all is the knowledge.
I agree, Justin. So myself, my network members understands. We provide some real data. I report my videos. I report the trends and betas, the economic metrics, the future. I provide real data so investors can make informed decisions and not look at those non-credible sources out there. And there's so much misleading information out there. But the future Florida, the far future will continue to do well. It has done well for decades, and people can overcome this in these short-term weather conditions. And so the benefits of investing in Florida far outweighs the risk. Again, just follow my YouTube channels, follow the data that we're providing. Justin and I also will give you some ongoing updates so you can feel confident that Florida is one of the best places to invest for the long term. As long as you surround yourself with a good team, right? Trust a team on the ground that have your interests at hand, that will do what's good, what's right for you, what you feel comfortable. I'll give you all kind of data, information, credible sources. We are being transparent, so you have the confidence to invest for the long term in the state of Florida. So thank you, Justin, for your time. I know you had to go back and do a lot of work, and I appreciate your outstanding client service for our investors. And everyone else, I'll see you guys next time on a joint video. We'll continue to produce. And one final thing is, if you see value, also any value whatsoever from the YouTube video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also put your email on the body of our description on my website, so you can become a real estate insider. So you can become a free member of our network. So every morning you'll receive free real estate investing information and housing market information into your email inbox. You can continue to be informed about how real estate investing could be part of your future financial freedom goals. Thank you so much. Thank you, Justin Zawatny, for presenting. And Justin's contact information is at the bottom of our description here on this YouTube video. And of course, by own investors, you can contact me directly so I can do a one-on-one complimentary consultation with you to go over your goals and objectives to see what is your investment goals. Thank you so much. Thank you, Justin. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye-bye.